In this video, I will be attempting a Kitbash challenge. The challenge will be comprised of 3 unique steps. The first one is that the mini must be a used miniature. Number 2 is that I cannot use any washes for shading. And lastly, I must paint the mini within an hour. As I got the mini off of eBay, I must strip the paint from it first. For this, I use highly concentrated alcohol and an old toothbrush. When doing something like this, make sure to use gloves as alcohol can dry your skin and cause some irritation. I also began removing the model from its base because I wanted to redo that as well. The previous owner glued it on pretty well though, so I needed to use my little hand drill and scalpel to slowly release it from its cage. After some finagling, I managed to gently twist it off its base and was finally able to start cleaning up that as well. Having successfully cleaned the model, it was time to fix the next issue, the broken sword. For this, I wanted to try using a bit that I was itching to try out already. An adapted outrider sword. I got this particular sword from the Paragon Warsuit kit and quickly began to clean it up before I started modifying it. First, I started by removing the grip, as I wasn't going to use it for this model, but made sure not to damage the pommel or the crossguard. Comparing it to the rest of the model, it seemed a bit too bulky, so I knew I needed to modify it a bit more. In order to slim it down a bit, I started removing some of the ornate details. I was going for more of a slick or slim design, because I thought it would make more sense for a space marine. This way he could slay more filthy Xenos without the details getting into his way. Lastly, I shortened the crossguard a little to make it fit better with the dimensions of the model. Before attaching his new sword, I needed to make some space for it first. So I removed the old pommel and cleaned up the area a little. To attach his new sword, I used a technique called pinning. This way, it would be stuck onto the model much more firmly. I wanted to make sure he never loses his sword again. That can be quite inconvenient in battle. With the help of my trusty pin vise, I drilled through his hand and into both the sword and the pommel. Then, with the help of superglue, I glued the length of paperclip into the sword and then through his hand and finally capping it up with the pommel. I really like the finished product, so it's time for painting. As this was a challenge video, I wanted to challenge myself a bit further, and so I decided to paint a successor chapter. I've recently finished listening to The Spear of the Emperor by Aaron Dembski, so in light of that I thought I'd paint this model in the colors of the Emperor's spears. I base coated the model using Thousand Suns blue. I then used a bottom black for some of the other parts of the model that weren't blue. This being a challenge, I didn't have the luxury of painting every little detail due to the time limit. To achieve the Empire Spear's azure coloring, I used some sunrise blue from Vallejo. I'm trying to improve my painting techniques, and this time around, this being a challenge and having a time limit and all, I tried out dry brushing. At this point, I had around 30 minutes left, so I went back, picked up some more details, corrected some mistakes, and did a little highlighting and finished the base. At this point, the clock was running out, so it's time for a grand reveal. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed the content, it would mean the world to me if you subscribe and like the video. If you want to see more of these challenges, let me know down below in the comments. Now go and paint your minions.